Good evening, everyone, and welcome to call number 3 of Body Whispering Book Club. Today, we'll study chapter 4, The Body as a Psychic Receiver. So, is there anyone here on the call who does not know about this tool called Who Does This Belong To? We all know. Like Anju, have you taken a BAS class? Are you aware of this tool? Who does this belong to? Even if you don't know, we'll see something in more detail, how it works, where all we can use it.
I have done foundation.
Right. So you already know who does this belong.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So your body is extremely intuitive. It picks up on energies of others, their emotions, their judgments, their grievances, their thoughts, their ideas, and their pain. So, how many times have you used for anything that is showing up with your body this wonderful tool called Who Does This Belong To? Any pain that shows up, any kind of fever, infection, heaviness, aches, and pains. So, somewhere between 50 and 100% of what goes on in your physical body, aches, pains, illness, may not even be yours. Yeah. So 50 से 100% हमारा body में ही नहीं है हमारा. And 98% of what goes on in your mind, your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and judgments don't belong to you. So, one thing to notice over here is that your mind and your body, or your being and your body, they function differently. So your body has also its own awareness, your being also has its own awareness, and both of them are so psychically aware that they would pick up of all those things that are going on in your environment within your surroundings. When I first heard these two figures, it took me a moment to take them in. Then, when the awareness settled somewhat, I experienced a total paradigm shift coupled with a beautiful sense of lightness. I thought, so almost all of the pain I have experienced isn't even mine. It was a huge sense of liberation. Is this true for you too? Could a lot of what is in your body and your mind not even be yours? If it is, then, like me, and probably every other person reading this book, your beautiful body is beautifully sponge like. Knowing this and being able to work with it places you at the leading edge of what you do as a healer, and it makes living your own life so much easier. So uh, our bodies are natural, intuitive healers. So they will pick up the pains, sufferings, illnesses of other people in order to make them feel better, especially those of our loved ones in our own houses, or even when you are walking, someone else walking on the road, or someone passing by, you will pick up their knee pains. So it is so intuitive and psychic. Being aware of this fact, we have a choice to not buy that pain and make it as our own body's pain. Our bodies are giving us information all the time. Our bodies are sensate, sensorial, sensory mechanisms. You know how a cat's whiskers tell the cat about the world around it? That's what our bodies do for us. So they are just passing on to us the information from the environment कि ऐसा भी हो रहा है, ऐसा भी हो रहा है दूसरों के साथ में या इस धरती पे. You could pass someone on the street who is having a knee problem, and all of a sudden, your own knee will start to hurt. To you, it is unexpected, but it is just your body saying, hey, that person has a knee problem. Your body picked up on that person's pain and is telling you about it. And understandably, before you got this awareness, you thought that pain was your own. So, Vijaya, how much of that heaviness that you are feeling post the clearings is truly yours? Does it truly belong to your body and your mind? Or are you experiencing the heaviness of all those people who had either been listening to those clearings or even not listening, but they have been affected by entities?
Of course.
Yeah, and you are sensing the what is going on with their bodies in your own body. So can you please like expand, push down your barriers, expand, and then ask for all this like to be returned to the sender with consciousness attached. Hmm?
Yeah.
I feel it, therefore it is mine. So that is how we operate in this reality. Because I feel it, it should be mine. We have been led to believe that everything we are aware of and everything we perceive in both our bodies and our minds is ours. There is a sense of, if I feel it, it must be mine. What if it is not? What if what I'm saying is true and between 50 and 100% of what goes on in your body came from somewhere or someone else? What if 98% of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and judgments don't belong to you? How can you know? Recognizing that it is a possibility that what you are perceiving in your body and mind might not be yours is one thing, but how can you know for sure? How can you know if what you are feeling like knee pain or sadness or anger or nausea are yours or not? And if they are yours, what then? And if they are not yours, what then? My friend, it is too easy. First, you can find out if what's troubling you is yours or not by asking, who knew it would it could be so simple just by asking, does it belong to me or someone else or something else? Is this mine or someone else or something else? Simply by asking that question, you will know whether it is yours or not. The question that takes you to that awareness is one you want to have in your toolbox from this moment on and possibly forever. So, this question should be your, like every moment you should be aware of that. The moment you are caught unaware, you will buy that point of view, that pain as yours, and then you will make it yours. And then there is a different way of letting it go, but then it's much easier when you just are not making it yours in the first place. Here it is. Who does this belong to? You can ask, who does this belong to? To anything that you perceive in your body or your mind. Any pain, any thought, feeling, judgment, sensation, literally, and anything and everything. With a little practice, you will start to sift and decipher and know what's really yours and what is not. So, when you ask that question and you feel that lightness and heaviness with your body, as you practice it more, you will be able to filter it out. You will be able to take out things which are not yours and those which are truly which you have made yours. And when you know, you can either let it go or access the awareness you require to let it go. So, for things that you have already made yours, which are yours, they are there to give you some awareness. When you receive that awareness, they would by themselves they would leave because their job is over. Let me give you an example. Let's go with the scenario I used earlier, the knee pain picked up from someone in the street. When you first perceive the pain, you don't yet know if it is yours or not. So you ask, body, who does this knee pain belong to? If you get a sense of lightness and easing of pain, a spacious sensation, it's not yours. When it is light, you know your body has picked up the pain, and your only requirement here is to return it to sender. You can do this by saying, wow, body, thank you so much for the awareness. You sweet creature, can we let it go now? Then follow that with the clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, what and pop, or nine shots, voice poets and beyond. So there would be two scenarios. When you ask your body, who does this pain belong to? Who does this belong to? You might get it belongs to your body or it doesn't belong to it. If you get that it doesn't belong to your body, you can just simply ask it for it to be returned. Can we just let it go, body? Thank you so much for this awareness, and then run the clearing statement. Now, the other scenario would be that it's actually yours. Either you have bought it or as yours, or it is your body giving you awareness with this pain. It is not your responsibility to identify who the knee pain belongs to or change it in any way. Your only task is to pot and pocket and let it go. As a reminder, when I say pot and pocket, I mean use the clearing statement. You can choose to say it in full, or you can use the shorthand, abridged version of pot and pocket. It works just the same. The other possibility is your knee hurts and you get a heavy feeling when you ask, who does this knee pain belong to? So, Vijaya, you can try it right now. Who does this heaviness in your head, in your body, the heaviness that you are feeling, who does this belong to? Are you getting a heavy feeling or a light feeling when you are?
Yeah, I just lied down, इसलिए मैंने like camera बंद कर दिया, and I was just being with my body, asking, listening to your book read, and I was in question, and I was
फील
paying
हो रहा है
attention
कि
to
heavy feel हो रहा है when you are
थोड़ा
asking?
light हो रहा है. It's much lighter now.
Or it could be that partially some part of it belongs to you as well.
Yeah,
है ना?
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that happens, then you know you either created the pain or you believed it belonged to you and took it on as yours, maybe as a means of healing it at some point in the past. Either way, you now have the tools to undo it. If you created it, it came from a judgment or a fixed point of view. We are going to unpick the whole area of judgment in more depth in the next chapter and later in the book, which is chapter 10. I will be offering you some practical tools and awareness for dealing with pain we created ourselves or are having trouble letting go of. But for now, it is enough to know that any pain or discomfort you experience is your body's way of giving you an awareness. And if you created it rather than picked it up from someone else, then its root is in judgment or any fixed point of view you have made real for you that isn't. Deepak, do you have a question?
यस मैम।
Yes, Deepak.
हाँ, मैं थोड़ा तो समझा हूँ, लेकिन थोड़ा 50-50% समझ पाया हूँ। हम ये सपोज बॉडी पेन हमने वो लिया है, किसी से आ गया है हमारे पास।
आपने दीपक बास क्लास करी है क्या?
हाँ, मैंने मैं बार प्रैक्टिशनर हूँ।
अच्छा, आप बास प्रैक्टिशनर हो, ओके। हाँ,
हाँ,
तो
हाँ,
देखिए, हाँ, तो अगर आपकी बॉडी में कोई पेन है, डिस्कम्फर्ट है, कोई इलनेस है, तो
हाँ,
उसके लिए हम पहले पूछेंगे, क्या ये हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू? हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू पूछने पे हमको या तो लाइटनेस फील होगी बॉडी में या हैवीनेस फील होगी। तो अगर आपकी बॉडी में अभी कहीं पे कोई डिस्कम्फर्ट है, कोई पेन है, तो आप उससे प्रेजेंट होइए उधर अपना ध्यान लगाइए और फिर पूछिए ट्रुथ, हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू। दो तीन बार पूछिए, बॉडी प्लीज टेल मी हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू। थैंक यू बॉडी, प्लीज you sweet creature, please let me know who does this belong to, and then sense whether you are getting a light feeling or a heavy feeling। अभी आपको क्या आ रहा है? अगर आप कोई पेन पे कर रहे हैं इस तरह से तो काम करें तो आपको क्या आ रहा है, हैवी के लाइट?
अभी लाइट आ रहा है।
तो अगर वो लाइट फीलिंग देता है तो मतलब वो आपका नहीं है, मतलब वो आपकी बॉडी आपको बोल रही है कि ये मेरा नहीं है। तुमने किसी और का जो सेंसेशन था, किसी और का पेन था, उसको या तो तुमने हील करने के लिए तुम खुद महसूस कर रही हो, या फिर ये आपको सिर्फ आपको दूसरी बॉडीज की इंफॉर्मेशन है आपके पास में। तो नाउ विद दिस पेन दैट यू वर वर्किंग ऑन, यू कैन जस्ट आस्क रिटर्न इट टू द सेंडर विद कॉन्शियसनेस अटैच्ड। Body, can we please let it go now? Thank you for this information. We can just let it go now. And then run the clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, bod and pop, all 9 shorts, boys, bobats and beyonds.
अच्छा, थैंक यू
ठीक
मैम।
है, तो ये एक कैच, एक बात हुआ। अब दूसरी केस, दूसरा क्या हो सकता है कि आपको जब आप हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू पूछते हैं, या आप अपने किसी क्लाइंट के साथ में काम कर रहे हैं और आप उनको बोलते हैं कि आप पूछो ये हु डज दिस बिलोंग टू, अगर वो बोलते हैं कि नहीं मुझे तो हेवीनेस लग रही है, मतलब अब इन्होंने ये जो पेन है इन्होंने इन्हीं की बॉडी का क्रिएटेड हो सकता है, मतलब ये इनकी बॉडी कोई इंटेंसिटी के साथ में कुछ अवेयरनेस देती है, दे रही है ना। अब ये वाला जो पेन बॉडी में क्यों क्रिएट हो जाता है, अगर अगर वो दूसरे का हमने साइकिकली अवेयर नहीं है, अगर हमने खुद क्रिएट किया है तो उसकी जड़ कहाँ है, जजमेंट में है। तो मतलब उन्होंने बहुत लंबे टाइम से कोई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू होल्ड करके रखा है, वो किसी चीज के बहुत ज्यादा जजमेंट में है। हो सकता है खुद ही की बॉडी के जजमेंट में है, या फिर कोई और उनकी जिंदगी में कोई हालात है, कोई सिचुएशन है ऐसे जिसके वो इतना ज्यादा जज कर रहे हैं कि वो जजमेंट्स उनकी बॉडी में लॉकअप हो गए हैं और वो बॉडी में शो अप हो रहे हैं एज पेन। उस केस में वो दूसरा एक तरह से हमको काम करना रहेगा, जो कि अब बता रहे हैं कि उस केस में अगर वो बॉडी में ही क्रिएट हुआ है उनकी जजमेंट्स की वजह से, तो वो हम उसको कैसे हम लेट गो करें। तो उसका कुछ तरीका इस चैप्टर में कुछ ब्रीफ किया है, और जो फॉलोइंग चैप्टर्स हैं उसमें उन्होंने काफी डिटेल में इस पे डॉक्टर डेनहियर ने बात की। Does it make clear?
यस मैडम, थैंक यू।
Okay, Deepak. So, knowing that it is yours, when it feels heavy, when you're asking the question, who does this belong to, and it feels really heavy, then you know that it is actually yours and you might have created it. You are now in a great position to access whatever awareness your body is trying to communicate with you. And again, the way to that place is through a question. You can ask, what am I not acknowledging that I am locking into my body as this pain? तो आपने कुछ चीज को एक्नॉलेज नहीं किया है, कुछ अवेयरनेस जो बॉडी आपको देना चाह रही है वो अभी तक आपने ली नहीं है, उसको उसको आपने स्वीकार नहीं किया है, इसलिए वो एज पेन अकर हो रहा है आपकी बॉडी में। तो सिंपल आपको क्वेश्चन पूछना है, व्हाट एम आई नॉट एक्नॉलेजिंग दैट आई एम लॉकिंग इनटू माय बॉडी एज दिस पेन। एंड इट कुड बी एज सिंपल एज योर कैपेसिटीज, योर potency, you are being aware of a lie, you being aware of someone cheating you, है ना। जब आप उसको भी नहीं एक्नॉलेज करते हैं तो आपकी बॉडी में पेन आता है। तो आप जब उसको एक्नॉलेज कर लेते हैं कि हाँ मैं मुझे पता है, आई नो समवन इज लाइंग, though I don't need to tell it to them, but I know the lie here, or I have extreme potency which I am not showing up, I'm afraid of being a successful person, तो मैंने अपनी potency अपने बैक के पीछे छुपा के रखी है, इसलिए बैक पेन हो रहा है ना। So you have to be just present with this awareness. You have to keep asking this question. What am I not acknowledging that I'm locking into my body as this pain? So, Vijaya, the next question for you, the heaviness that is still lingering on right now in your body, what are you not acknowledging that you are locking into your body as this pain? What capacities do you have with entities, Vijaya, that you have not yet acknowledged? And everything that brought up, will you please now destroy and uncreate it all? Right, no, good and bad, pod and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. Ask the question. Keep asking this question a few times and then see what comes up for you. But you don't have to get a specific answer in order to clear it. जरूरी नहीं है कि उसका जवाब आपको मिले, बस आप वो एनर्जी का शिफ्ट महसूस कीजिए जैसे ही आप ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं. You can just get the energy of it and say, everything that won't allow that and allow me to acknowledge it, I now destroy and uncreate it. Times a quadrillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. Okay, so what am I not acknowledging that I am locking into my body as this pain? Everything that won't allow that and allow me to acknowledge it, I now destroy and uncreate it. Times a quadrillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. Are you getting what a valuable tool who does this belong to is? It's seriously a win-win. Not yours, you know what to do with it. Yours, you know what to do with it. And now you can try it out for everything. Even your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Anywhere you are feeling depressed, overwhelmed, anxiety, for all of it, it works very beautifully. Next, try it out for the next 3 days for everything that is going on in your life, and you would actually become a walking, talking meditation. Yes, Anju.
Hi,
Hi, Anju. Yeah.
Thank you
आपकी
for this
बहुत ज़्यादा ब्रेक हो
call
रही.
because this is something I have been asking.
Your voice is not.
Hello,
Yeah, yeah,
can you hear me now?
yeah, much better. Yeah.
I said thank you so much for this call because this is something I had asked the universe and it just showed up. So, I've been in question. I have this allergic sneezing, which is going on for years, and it is really impacting my body. I've done all the questioning, and I've asked the body, but it doesn't. I'm not getting it. So, how do I?
So don't try to get it.
Okay.
Just clear it. So you just keep running this clearing. What am I not acknowledging that I am locking into my body as this allergic pain or whatever, as this pain.
Sneezing. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything that does not allow that and allow me to acknowledge it, I now destroy and uncreate it. Times a
Okay.
shorts in right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, voice, bobats, and beyond.
So in a loop, I keep
Hmm?
doing it until it becomes light.
You don't have a projection and expectation also. नहीं होगा तो भी
Okay.
कोई बात नहीं, अपन तो करते रहेंगे.
All right.
जब भी बॉडी को बताना होगा बताएगी. नहीं भी पता, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि पता ही नहीं चलता कब साइलेंटली चला गया वो पेन.
हाँ.
And body processes.
Okay.
Another way to you can put this on a loop and get your bars run, or you can just run your implant band on your own.
Okay.
है ना?
Great.
Or
Yeah.
as you have done a foundation class, at least you must be knowing this. If you have done before an year, probably you are aware of this MTVSS or
No, I did it like 6 months back.
Okay, so then any other some body processes also work very beautifully with this. But then keep
Yeah.
asking this question: are you clearing entities? Are there any?
I have been doing it from yesterday. I don't know from why. I just suddenly had this feeling and I started doing.
Today there has been a continuous. There were so many lives that happened today. What was
Yeah.
it? Massive entity clearings. There were free
Yes.
lives. going on Shannon O'Hara's YouTube channel and Facebook. Just
Okay.
play those. That's what Vijaya
Okay.
and Seema were talking about. That
Okay.
like now Vijaya is feeling a lot of heaviness after those clearings. So how many entities is she perceiving and how many do you perceive? A
All
lot
right.
of itching, sneezing, allergies could be due to entities also.
Okay. Okay.
So as you clear the entities, you might feel better.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that was just an awareness I got. Just yeah. And since you're saying it's
Yeah.
today, you are getting it
Yeah.
probably
I
your body is
suddenly,
aware. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Suddenly, yesterday afternoon onwards, I've been doing it on my own. And I just got to know this. Yeah. It's great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And clear also all the original occupants from your body. Refer to your foundation manual.
Okay.
Walk-ins वाला part पढ़ो और original
Yeah.
occupants clear करो. That is another awareness I'm getting
All
about
right.
your clear that. Probably you will get more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me
Yes.
move what shifts. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Then with that, we go to chapter 5, letting go of judgment. Here is a question. How many of the tools and exercises I have shared with you so far in this book have you tried? So seriously, honestly, being like you don't have to tell me, just be brutally honest with yourself and ask how many tools that you have learned so far from the bus class, from in all the access books that you have read, from this book itself, from the first two calls, how many of them have you tried? Or have you just said that it's not changing? Have you tried all the tools that were available to you from the foundation class? If you have done one, have you been trying all of that? So don't conclude that it cannot go away, it's mine, and I have to live with it, and I have to die with it. Keep trying all the tools that are available out there. Some of them, or maybe none of them. And if that's the case, do you feel bad? So are you feeling bad that right now that you didn't try them? Like you are not committed enough? Are you judging yourself that I am not committed to my life, to my body because I didn't try those tools? Or do you feel guilty because you think you are not doing what is expected of you? Know this. I have no expectations of you, no demands, no standards for you to reach your goals. Uh, For you should meet. If you have wholeheartedly embraced practicing the tools, that is okay. If you haven't, it is still okay. What I am interested in is what do you, dear reader, think of your commitment to this book? And what if we go wider to other areas of your life? What standards have you set for yourself? Also, what happens when you don't meet those standards? For instance, do you believe you get enough exercise? Eat enough vegetables? Are you always patient with your kids? Are you the partner you think you should be to your enjoyable other? Are you a great daughter, son, sister, brother, friend, co-worker, neighbor? Are you super organized and dedicated to every task you take on? Are you perfect? I'm going to guess you are not. And it is okay. I have met and worked with hundreds of thousands of people, and I have never met a perfect one yet. And I'm sure I never will. I'm including the man in the mirror, by the way. So Dr. Dane says he's including himself. He himself is also not perfect. I like him a lot. His own reflection in the mirror he's talking about. I like the man I see in the mirror a lot, but he is not perfect. Wait, let me rephrase that. I like him a lot and he is not perfect. Something I have found from working with people all over the world is a common belief among some that they should be perfect or close to perfect. And when they are not, notice if I didn't say if they are not, what is he saying? When they are not, they judge themselves harshly. There are also a lot of folks who have very high expectations of others. And when those expectations aren't met, judgments come out in full force to the extent that the person feels affronted and let down. So, how many projections, expectations, and judgments do you have of yourself and of others, which is keeping you in like pain, which is creating all the pain? So, those judgments, no one is perfect. What if we could allow people and ourselves to be as they are without having a need for them to change? The thing about expecting perfection or expecting anything concrete at all is that it leaves little room for anything else to come into your life. Think about how it is when you start a new relationship or when you see your friends in that honeymoon stage after they have just met their current Mr. or Mrs. Right. Everything the new partner does, says, and represents is perfect. Here's where it gets messy. If you decide that someone is perfect, what happens when they do something that doesn't meet the idea of perfection? You were so focused on them doing what you think they should do that anything else looks like failure. So, if you are having relationship issues, be it any kind of relationship, intimate or otherwise, be more aware of what is being like told over here. Yeah, when you are looking for perfection or you are like you have expectations that people should behave in a certain way, they should act in a particular way, then you are like on the way to creating judgments and not having communion. A judgment, by its very nature, solidifies a point of view, and nothing that doesn't match that point of view can come into your awareness. When you are judging someone, you cannot see their beauty, their greatness, the contribution that they be, the gift that they be in the world. You cannot be grateful for them actually. So great gratitude and judgment cannot go together. You can either be grateful or you can judge. How many positive judgments have you had of people just in the last 3 months that have stuck you because they haven't lived up to what you have judged them as being? So, another interesting thing is we always feel that judgments are all the negative things that we think about people, or we think or see all the negative. So, सब में सब अच्छा अच्छा देखो. But then positive judgments are much more sticky than the negative judgment. So if you see someone as like someone ये बहुत ही he's so kind, ये हमेशा कितना जनरस होता है, ये हमेशा ये तो कभी झूठ बोलेगा ही नहीं, है ना, या फिर ये तो कभी मेरे साथ में ये चीटिंग करेगा ही नहीं, एंड देन you give up your awareness in favor of your positive judgments for that person, and when they falter, you have all the reasons to create a distance with them. You cut them off from your lives. फिर आपका judgment आएगा because you were earlier having positive judgment, and now you are changing polarities from that positive judgment to now a negative judgment, but still it is a judgment. So be more aware of your positive judgments. Be willing to see people as they are and allow them to be whatever they need be in a given situation. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. How many positive judgments have you had of people just in the last 3 months that have stuck you because they haven't lived up to what you have judged them as being? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. I'm feeling so hot and sweating. This has a lot of charge, this clearing. Let me just put on the fan. How many positive judgments have you had of people just in the last 3 months that have stuck you because they haven't lived up to what you have judged them as being? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. Once more, how many positive judgments have you had of people just in the last 3 months that have stuck you because they haven't lived up to what you have judged them as being? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. And mind you, please don't jump into a judgment of yourself as we run this clearing. So it's okay. Be kind to yourself, be in allowance of yourself. You didn't know anything better. This is how we have been conditioned. We have been taught in this reality. So you did whatever you knew. So don't don't be harsh on yourself. As one more time we run these clearings, please push down your barriers, expand. And now, how many positive judgments have you had of people just in the last 3 months that have stuck you because they haven't lived up to what you have judged them as being? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a quadrillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. I have said this already and I will say it again. Judgment is a killer. It is a killer of possibilities. It is a killer of space. It is a killer of energy. It is a killer of joy. It is a killer of happiness. Moreover, it is the number one cause of pain, suffering, and illness on the planet. As a body whisperer, understanding more about judgment and its destructive and limiting nature puts you in a place where I believe hardly any other healers on the planet are right now. And a place where you can bring change into your own world and the world of the people you work on with real ease. The thing about judgment is that it is an ingrained habit and it's no one's fault that they picked it up. It is almost like a reflex. We have been conditioned to judge everything about us, everything we think, everything we choose, everything we do is labeled as or bad, right or wrong. If it didn't have to be
Okay,
that way?
I found this on the web for is labeled as
What if it is not the way you really are underneath all the conditioning? What if dropping judgment altogether would be like a homecoming and a return to your true nature? Almost like getting your wings back. You had those wings when you were a baby, by the way. You didn't come into the world judging yourself or others. You were a little ball of conscious energy and light. So when we were born, up till the age of, say, 2 years, we didn't know how to judge. We were not aware what judgment was. So this has been something ingrained into us. We were taught, we were conditioned, we have bought it from this reality. And now it has become like a reflex, a habit that comes as on an autopilot mode in our body and being. As with any habit, judgment is a habit you can choose to break. In just a few pages, I'll be sharing a set of tools that you can use to let judgment go. But first, I really want to drill down a little deeper into this concept of judgment, because there might be more to it than you are aware of right now. A new lens on judgment. So, are you willing to put a new lens, a new perspective to all your judgments? Are you? Going back to basics, we can say that judgment is the act of labeling a person, a thing, an event, a situation, a thought, anything at all as good or bad, right or wrong. So that is what judgment is. When you label something, some person, a situation, an event as either good or bad, or either as right or wrong. When you choose consciousness, the polarities of good and bad no longer exist. Everything in your life loses those conclusive and limiting labels and becomes interesting. Every choice you have ever made or will make, whether it's a choice that leads to bankruptcy or a choice that results in winning $1 million, is just interesting. So there is no good choice or a bad choice, or the best decision I ever made, or something wrong that I did. So that none of that. It's all interesting choices. How is that sitting with you? We are used to hearing about how damaging negativity can be. But what about so-called positive points of view? Could winning $1 million really just be interesting? So everywhere we make that if you have won $1 million or you have got a high percentage of marks in the exam, then it is something very good. Then that is also a judgment. As a seeker, by which I mean someone willing to look beyond the confines and limitations of this reality, I know you are a seeker because you are here reading this book. You might have been trying to school yourself out of negative thinking and into positive thinking for a while. Maybe you have dabbled with affirmations and other techniques for cultivating a positive mindset and outlook. If that is the case, the idea that good or positive judgment is something to stop participating in might be a tough one to accept. But please hear me out. So, what Dr. Dane here says is that positive thinking is as hazardous as negative thinking. So instead of like going from negative to positive, what if we can get out of polarities and just make everything as an interesting choice? If we are going to let go out of judgment, we need to make a commitment to doing it wholly and completely. Why? Because if we keep on with the belief that some things or people or situations are good, then by default we are saying some people and situations are bad. It is the polarity thing again. In the polarities of this reality, good can't exist unless there is bad. Right. Right can't exist unless something or someone is wrong. Now, before we go any further with this, know that letting go of judgment doesn't mean we suddenly get really complacent about everything. And it doesn't mean that we allow people to do crappy things to us because we are so enlightened that we are just thrilled to lie down and let people walk all over us. No, instead, we tap into something so much more expansive than judgment, that which we call as awareness. Yes, Seema, opposite values are complementary. But then when we don't, if we see them as something beyond judgment, if we don't see them as judgeable. Now, replacing judgments with awareness. So, are you all willing to learn tools how to replace your judgments with awareness? Your good and positive, as well as bad and negative judgments from to into more awareness. Here is the thing. We can be aware of a negative situation or person who is intending to limit you and not be in judgment of it or them. Oh, so this person is lying to me. They are trying to stop me from going there. They don't want me. They are gaslighting me so that I don't become too much. They are like just praising me, appreciating me, complimenting me too much because they probably they want something from me. So you can be aware of all of that and like just be not at the effect of it, just be aware. And you can be aware of a positive person or situation which is making your life greater, and again not be in judgment of it or them. And there would be people who are truly contributing to you, who are a gift to your life, who are like just so kind and generous that they change your world, and you don't have to judge them as positive as well. You just be aware of them, and you can be grateful for them, and you don't have to label them as anything. The difference between an awareness and a judgment is that judgment has a point of view attached to it. Say, for example, you start exercising daily and you are feeling amazing. You judge this new behavior as good for you and the right thing to do. And then you don't work out one day. And that turns into 2 days, three, then a week. How do you feel? We all do it. As humanoids, we are not at all consistent. We are not good at doing the same things over and over. So we were doing this amazing exercise routine or diet routine, and then we left it, and a week has passed. How do you feel about it? You feel as a failure? My guess is you feel like a failure. How could you not feel like a failure when you decided that exercising made you a success? It's completely possible to be aware that you feel good when you exercise regularly without judging that behavior as good, right, exemplary, and so on, and no ideals. And you can notice someone acting selfishly or being mean or rude, whatever it is, acknowledge it. See how limiting their behavior is and still not judge them for it. Okay, they are choosing to be mean right now. Right? Okay. As if you don't know that I'm aware that you are being mean, as if you are not aware that you are lying, you are cheating. Or you are being a contribution right now, a gift. Yeah. So you don't have to label either of that. You just acknowledge it without charge and without a point of view attached. Once again, letting go of judgment doesn't make you a doormat or passive. In fact, when you stop seeing the world and other people and yourself in a black and white way, you actually get a lot more in tune with what will create more in your life and what will create less. So you would be able to see all the 50 shades of gray if you are willing to let go of that black and white world. You stand in your power and potency in a way you never imagined you could. You allow for so much more growth, fun, joy, and healing in your life. Here are a couple of clearings to help you release any misconceptions you may have around positive and negative judgment. And I would highly recommend that you put those clearings on loop, run them on loop for the next 1 week, and change the energies from judgment into awareness, at least to some extent. Where have you decided that anything positive that you think must not be a judgment and anything negative you think must be a judgment? Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. Once more, where have you decided that anything positive that you think must not be a judgment and anything negative you think must be a judgment? Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. How many things that you thought were negative did you have awareness of about people, like they are selfish or they are unkind or they are stealing from someone? How many of those did you have an awareness that you thought were judgments that actually were not judgments? They were awareness. But you decided because it seemed negative, it must be bad and wrong. So you cut off your awareness of where the person was functioning. And then you became the effect of them and where they are functioning. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all 9 shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. Once more, how many things that you thought were negative did you have awareness of about people, like they are selfish or they are unkind or they are stealing from someone? How many of those did you have as awareness that you thought were judgments that actually were not judgments? They were awareness, but you decided because it seemed negative, it must be bad and wrong. So you cut off your awareness of where the first person was functioning, and then you became the effect of them and where they are functioning. Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. Is this lightening up for you? I have seen so many people get an immense sense of freedom when they glimpse what's possible, when they let go of judgment, when nothing is good or bad and only interesting. Their whole being gets brighter and they know they are on the way to getting their wings back. Then you can fly. It's no surprise because judgment is a huge burden, metaphorically and physically. Okay, so are you all good to stay 10 to 15 minutes more so that we can complete the chapter, or do you want to stop here?
No problem. We can continue. Thank you.
Continue? Okay, thank you. The energy of judgment. Almost all disease, hurt, and pain in people's bodies is based on a judgment or several judgments that they have around a situation. It might be their own judgment, or it might be something they have bought as true from someone else. Here is how that works. As we have explored, the body uses the language of energy to try to communicate with us. And many of us, perhaps you included, have had a really hard time hearing this energy. The energy solidifies to try to get our attention, until eventually it turns into something like a frozen shoulder, and then at last we feel it, and then we have the audacity to say, wait, how did that happen? Or it could be an allergy on your skin. Yeah, so your body tries to communicate through whispers initially, but because we are not listening to it, we have so many judgments and so many points of view. Yeah, thank you, Deepak. Yeah, and so because we are not able to hear to it, then it gets solidified. The body starts shouting, and then at last it gets the attention that it is asking for, and then we say, ये कब कैसे हो गया, मुझे कैंसर कब हो गया, मुझे डायबिटीज कब हो गया, ये ब्लड प्रेशर कब के प्रॉब्लम्स कैसे हो गई मुझे, है ना? That is when we actually get to the point where we are ready to listen to our body. We think the frozen shoulder came on suddenly. जब मैं ऐसे टेनिस खेल रहा था और ऐसे मेरा हाथ मुड़ा और तब मुझे फ्रोजन शोल्डर हो गया, नहीं, that single event was not responsible for that frozen shoulder or any hurt that you had. It was accumulating over years, when in fact it could be the result of many years of accumulated energies, all of which originated in judgment. Just think for a moment about the energy of judgment. Think about those good, bad, right, wrong labels we affix to everything and everyone. Do you notice they have a heaviness and a solidity? Kind of like concrete that is about to harden and solidify. That is the energy judgment has. So, judgment is solid, it's concrete, it is heavy, it hurts. Now, let's get the energy of interesting. Imagine if something isn't good or bad, just interesting. In fact, let's call it interesting point of view. What's the energy of that? So have you like, if someone like loves to watch horror movies, do you find yourself that you are watching that horror movie and still you don't have any fear, you are just seeing it as something interesting that is going on? Yeah, and you can laugh it off. Yeah, so that is the energy of interesting when you don't have a judgment. वो भूत का भी जजमेंट नहीं है, वो लाइट चली जा रही है उसका भी जजमेंट नहीं है, वो जो वैम्पायर है और उसने वो बड़ा सा वो पंजा निकाल के खून से भरा हुआ किया, वो तब भी हमको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. We know that it is a movie, it's just happening over there, it's interesting, something interesting going on over there, right? The beauty of interesting point of view is that it completely pulls the rug out from under judgment. It takes away its validity. We are going to look at it again in a few pages as a tool for letting go of judgment, but just for now, notice how much more space where you get when you view a person or a situation or a choice as interesting. Someone doesn't like you. Interesting. That time you embarrassed yourself in front of someone you really admired. Interesting. Someone thinks your taste in home decor is terrible. Interesting. Doesn't interesting give you so much more space around a situation? Interesting point of view doesn't solidify like judgment does. It has a totally different energy about it. And here's the key. It won't create pain, hurt, or disease in that beautiful body of yours. And look also at the point of time, oh, they are envious of me. They are envious of my dress. They are envious of my looks, my accomplishments. Interesting. If you don't see it as a judgment, you cannot be like at the effect of black magic or anything else. So black magic happens. If you believe it happens because you are in judgment. If you are making everything interesting, आपको कोई नजर नहीं लगेगी, कोई black magic आप पे काम ही नहीं करेगा. Because you are not solidifying that point of view. You are making everything as interesting. Do you know you get more of what you direct your energy to? Your body is kind of like an animal or maybe a lump of clay. Wait, don't throw the book across the room. Hear me out. Your body and mind is like an impressionable, sweet lump of clay that's here saying to you, I will give you whatever you want. Just tell me what that is. I'm ready. So, have you played with those molds? मिट्टी के क्ले के वो उसको हम ऐसे दबा दबा के कुछ भी जो शेप देना चाहते थे दे देते थे. That is what how our bodies are. It is that much flexible, malleable. It can take whatever form we may want to give it. Only it's impressionable. It's like clay. Only if we were aware of it and we don't solidify it with our own judgments. And what do we give to our bodies? Judgment. We catch sight of ourselves in a mirror and we instantaneously throw a handful of judgments at our sweet giving bodies. Ugh, my butt is so saggy. And look at those crow's feet. Am I developing jowls? I have always hated my thighs. They are so fat. The heavy and intense energy of judgment gets taken in by our bodies, and eager to please and give us what it thinks we want, the body gives us a saggier butt, deeper crow's feet, heavier jowls, and thicker thighs. So, whatever we judge, whatever we pay our attention to, if we pay our attention to the fats in our body, what grows? Fat. That is the law. Yeah. We have directed that energy of judgment at our bodies with such intensity that the body absorbs it and says, oh, that's what you want? No worries, I can do that for you. How many judgments have you had of our body just in the last 24 hours? Everything that is times a quadrillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, bobats, and beyonds. Who or what creates your reality? And who or what creates your body showing up in a certain way? Some of us have this idea that our judgments and conclusions about the world are mere facts and reflections of the world. Some people truly believe that when they judge something as good or bad, they are just saying it as they see it. My point of view is that nothing is as we judge it to be. Okay, so nothing is as we judge it to be. It is our judgment which creates our reality. In essence, it is our point of view which creates our reality, not the other way around. What if your point of view creates your reality? Reality doesn't create your point of view. This is hard to get, but then that is the truth. Your point of view creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your point of view. That's a game-changing concept. Would you like it again? Your point of view creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your point of view. Just think about it for a moment. Have you ever met someone whose outlook on life is really negative? They will often lament that they are unlucky, tell you how often they are ill, and that things hardly ever work out for them. And then they get a ton of bad luck. They catch every bug going, and surprise, surprise, things hardly ever work out for them. What if their point of view is creating their reality? Could it really be that straightforward? I believe it is. What do you think? If you can allow the concept that you are creating your world into your world, you are on track for incredible change. I'll read that again. You are creating your world into your world. When you get that, you are on track for incredible change. Are you willing to undo any judgments you have in your body and your life right now? Are you willing to? Are you willing to let go of your judgments of your bodies or other life situations right now? About your money reality, about abundance, about relationships, anything that is sticking you, that is making you feel not so good. It's your willingness to let go of judgment that is the catalyst for life-changing greatness. When you make a judgment and aren't willing to change it, you keep whatever problem or limitation you have there in place. So if you think you have a problem, or if you think you have a limitation where you cannot choose things, then be sure that there is an underlying judgment over there. While it is there, the only thing it can do is continue to create whatever havoc it's creating in your life. Aches, pains, sadness, and suffering. You name it, it is there for the long haul until it isn't, until you choose something else. So, until you give up your judgments, you are willing to change it and see it just as an interesting point of view. I have this point of view about this situation. When you are willing to let go of judgment, run the following clearing. I'll be sharing lots more tools for letting go of judgment in the next few pages, but this is a great starting point for you, and it's a great one to share with your clients. All the judgments you have that are creating the havoc in your life and the havoc in your body that you believe you cannot change, will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So you don't even have to dig your head to find out what the judgment is. You can just ask that whatever is that judgment that is creating this limitation, this havoc in my life, I'm willing to let go of it now. And the universe will do it for you. Your body will do it for you. Yeah. So, Anju, can you run it for your pain in your body, that allergy?
Yes, yes.
You can just do all the judgments I have that are creating this allergy in my life, this havoc in my life and in my body that I believe I cannot change. I now destroy and create it.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. All the judgments you have that are creating the havoc in your life and the havoc in your body that you believe you cannot change. Will you destroy and create it, please? Yes.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Ready to let go of even more? What would be
Yes.
possible then? So that is where we stop here. That's the end of the chapter.
Which
Okay.
was which page number was this clearing?
Oh, so I'm on Kindle,
Hmm.
and this was on page 64 of Kindle. It was 31%. Sorry. Yeah, 31%. Page 63
Okay.
on Kindle, 31%, and it's chapter 5.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Letting go of judgment. And a lot would be covered about judgments in the later part. It's still we are not on the end of the chapter, I think. Getting out of judgment, a toolkit, it says. And before we enter into part 3 of the book. So part 2 is all about a new way to be, and there is a lot about letting go of judgments. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining in. Have a wonderful weekend
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you so
Bye.
much for the lovely book club.
Sorry, I
Thank
couldn't.
you. I thank you so much for creating this. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. We have it every Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. Looking forward to see you again next week. Yeah. And please
Yes.
play those clearings. Okay. Bye-bye.